grade math friends. Today we are going to be thinking about patterns, but before we do that with numbers, I want to start off with a basic pattern that you see here. And let's think about what we notice here. We see that we've got a blue circle, a green triangle, a red square, blue circle, green triangle, red square. And if somebody asked you what would you come next, you would probably say a blue circle, because you're noticing that every time we go through the series of three shapes, so circle, triangle, and square that are in different colors, we start again with our circle, our blue circle. So we're going to think about the patterns, but we're going to not think about shapes. We're going to think about patterns when we are seeing them in numbers. So let's take a look at this problem. Daryl is making a pattern for a quilt. The pattern shows 40 squares. Every fourth square will be blue. How many blue squares are in the pattern? So in order to help us solve this problem, I'm going to use this blank number grid that I have here. I just took some graph paper that I had and I labeled my squares 1 through 40 since they told me that the pattern would have 40 squares. Now it tells me that every fourth square is going to be blue, and my question is how many squares in total in the pattern will be blue. So let's look at this first square that's shaded. The number 4 is shaded because that's the fourth square, and now I'm going to count on to another 4. When I do that, right, I count 1, 2, 3, 4, I land at 8, and I'm going to shade this square in as well because that's my next fourth square. And you're probably thinking, instead of just counting, we can use skip counting to help us be a little bit more efficient, and I think that's a great idea. So we have 4, 8, then would come 12, then 16, then 20, then 24, 28, 32, 36, and lastly 40. All right, so now I've got this number grid colored in here, and I'm able to use this to help me figure out how many total squares will be blue in my pattern. I see that the squares that are 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, 24, 28, 32, 36, and 40 will all be blue squares. So I have these numbers here: 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, 24, 28, 32, 36, and 40. Now, what I'm seeing is I have this long list of numbers. Each of these numbers can be referred to as a term, which is a number or an object in a pattern. So these are all individual terms. So I need to just see what the total number of terms is, and that's how many blue squares that I will have. So I see that I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I have 10 terms, so I know that that means there will be 10 blue squares in my quilt pattern.